Welcome back, Michael Coren Show. Right, let's get to it now. You're all incredibly angry at what everyone else has said. I'm sure that makes for great. I saw you nodding most of through what they were saying.
But not all.
Okay.
But not all. Oh, there were about 1,000 things I wanted to respond to. Oh, give you three. I don't even know where to start. Well, I think one of the things that I felt really confused about was this notion that it's right-wing bloggers who want to attack the commissions completely in toto. They're the ones who are going after the hate speech provisions, and I disagree with that. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association is not what I would call...
You're a bunch of lefties, aren't you?
I don't know if I'm going to put myself in a political camp, because we try to be apolitical. We try to defend civil liberties no matter who you are, and that's why we, like many of the people who support us, many of the people who agree with us, say, no, human rights commissions, their primary role, which is to protect people's rights, you know, in employment and housing, as we've talked about a few times now, that's a great role for them. We're happy that they're doing it. Why are they limiting expression? Well, we know, we've pitted.
Well, child pornography is expression. Child pornography is expression.
It is expression, but that's not what we're talking about here.
What is the association's view on that?
I just want to finish what I was going to say. There has been this sense, this false dichotomy created as if expression and equality have gone head to head, as if you have too much freedom of expression, then you're not going to have enough equality. And that's a very strange notion. It's a misconception, and it's misinformation that's being put out there. We know, as people who have fought long and hard for equality rights amongst many other rights, that expression is the weapon of the weak. It's the weapon of the disadvantaged. It's the tool that you have. When the Jews are attacked, when the gays are attacked, they've been using freedom of expression to say, there's something going on here, there's a problem here. And you know where the problem's coming from? It may be coming from those people. They also may be an identifiable group. You get, for example, I mean, imagine a group of feminists standing up and saying, you know what, nobody's talking about polygamy. We think polygamy is a real problem. We have a problem with the practice of it. We have a problem with the people who practice it. We have a problem with the leaders in those communities. Now you tell me, is that hate speech? Or is it offensive? Of course it's offensive. For sure they're going to be polygamists. They're going to be hopelessly offended by it. But is that good? Is that good?
I just want to ask my question again.
Exactly
Listen, you're very practiced at this, and you're a very articulate person and a charming person.
We've been talking about it for some time.
But I'm from Calgary, and I'm a little slow and I'm rough. So let me just ask you.
Now, Warren, get on with it.
I use it a lot, don't I? Sorry. What's your position on child pornography? It's expression.
No,
She's against it.
And I'm not here to talk about child pornography.
Why not? But
because that's not the topic. No, that's not.
It's a valid philosophical point. Well, there's a nature of consensus, first of all, and I think you would find an almost overwhelming, complete consensus that child pornography is wrong. There's a direct harm to the child. There are photographs of children, even if the child is not physically touched.
What about Robin Sharp?
You mean the drawings?
Yes.
Well, you see,
drawings and writings.
Well, there's a good example, because I think the legal and political community was divided on that. Is it directly harmful to a child or not?
But the decision,
if it had been photographs, no, it would have been very different.
Right. But I mean, what about that?
Child pornography, when it involves actual harm to a child, or material that is set out to be as if it's actual harm to a child, stuff that can be manipulated on a computer, for example, I have no problem saying that can and should be illegal, as you say, because a child is being harmed because they're creating a market for the harming of children.
But if a group of people, if Jews are being harmed as a result of hatred,
harmed?
You know, how harmed?
The gay community.
I suppose. How harmed?
How? In what way are they being harmed?
In living memory, we have seen how harmful speech can be. We have seen it. We have seen about the Holocaust.
If you're talking about the Holocaust, then we have to accept that at that time they had hate speech provisions as well.
Oh, please,
that's not what.
It wasn't the hate speech provisions that led to Auschwitz. Believe me, it was words that started. Auschwitz didn't begin in a vacuum. It did not begin in a vacuum.
But they had hate speech provisions and they had prosecutions at the time.
The Weimar Republic jailed Nazis
previous. It didn't stop it. That's exactly the point. The
point is we need to be able to air these issues. We're dealing with an entirely different history and an entirely different time.
Well, we are, surely. I mean, that's
surely we are.
Point.
And that is the whole point. But what I'm trying to suggest is that words have power. The concept of genocide just doesn't start, well, let's go and murder a few million people. It starts with thought. It starts with thought. So we have to find the balance. By the way, you know, the other question I would have for you is, what about libel and slander? Why is it okay for us to go to court over personal injury, but it's not okay for us to have a law dealing with group injury. I mean, I've always been curious about that.
Well, I think there's a very...
Because that is quantifiable. Like, if you lie to my employer about something that I did not say or did not do, and I'm injured by losing my jobs, I can quantify the damage. If somebody says that, you know, if somebody goes around saying, you know, like, you know, Father Nathaniel, that, like, you know, like the crazy guy around the United States, which I know that the CJC has been going after. I can't quantify.
The CJC has not been.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Wiesenthal Center was going after him. I'm sorry, I correct myself there. I can't quantify the damage he's doing by goofily jumping around on the street and making, you know, offhand remarks about Jews. I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't understand how
the role of we have institutions, democratic institutions in society. We have judges. We have people who we consider to be experts, who we elevate to human rights commissions or other things, and we ask them in a democratic society to make those judgments for us. Sometimes they're wrong, and they get overturned on appeal. And if we profoundly disagree with the decisions, just wait, that they are making, then in elections we can express ourselves.
But here's my problem, Warren. I'm not a populist. I don't think that morality is derived from popular opinion.
Before we get going in there, the point here, judges, sometimes they drive you crazy, but generally there is a certain standard and an intellect. And in a court of, I would have far more faith in all of this, even though I wouldn't approve of it, if there was a court of law with lawyers, with judges. You mentioned experts. The people who are made judges are generally very competent people. Human Rights Commission, some of the people there, they're not competent. Well, they're not judges, they're not lawyers.
No, that's very interesting.
Let's break it, come straight back to that after this commercial break, which is not because I'm doing it on purpose. They're saying I have to. Back in a few moments.